Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the Round Pegs Square Hole podcast, exclusively here first at the FTEN X Academy. Tonight we have Isabelita Castilho, and the topic of discussion is how to de-stress and create positivity. In this talk, Isabelita will talk through stress, especially when looking for a job, which probably would apply to some of us today, the effects of it and how much it actually affects the actual aim results. So we're also going to discuss the mindset during the job search, for successful and faster results, and the importance of relaxation and staying positive. Originally from Brazil, Isabelita, having lived in several countries, has been in Dubai since 2011, and she's a passionate executive career consultant who provides strategic career transition advice to senior executives looking for their next job. Isabelita is also a conversational hypnotherapist and the author of the book, All the Secrets of Getting a New Job in Dubai Unleashed. Isabelita has advised many senior executives across the world, and she loves NLP, neuroscience, hypnosis, meditation, spirituality, and is an avid public speaker as well. Isabelita, it's absolutely a pleasure to have you with us here today. How are you?
Wow, hello, team. That's my pleasure and an honor to be able to participate. I'm doing great. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well. Thank you so much. How's your year gone so far? I mean, I know it's a very, strange question to ask sometimes because obviously people are experiencing this storm in many ways. But I mean, how's the year gone? Has it been insightful? Have you learned lots? What's it been like for you?
No, it's actually an amazing, important question because for me, it has been a year of discovery more than ever. I do see a situation as what opportunities can we actually bring from the chaos that the whole world is facing. So it's an opportunity. It's a year of opportunity for discovery of self and of your self-power as well. So.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit about. I mean, I gave you a little intro there to everyone, but I'd love to know your story and kind of like why you do what you do. So give us a little crash course on you and why where you are today, basically.
Okay, so basically, well, I believe we all have like. Probably some kind of destiny, some kind of mission, the reason why we are in this world. And based on that, I always had curiosity to understand why things happen to certain people and why other things in similar kind of profile happens very differently to others. Always wanting to find ways to figure out also how can I be of help since I'm in this, third dimensional world. There must be a reason why I'm here. So if I have this curiosity, if I have this interest to help other people, then I need to explore. So I've been an explorer about, why we're here, who we are, what's mind, how much are we affected by our surroundings, and how powerful are we that we're not even tapping into. So how could I find out about my power in a way to be able then to share with the world and share with the people that would pass across my path. So that's basically me being a curious person, always reading since I was 17 years old, always curious about spirituality in general, always curious about psychology. And then eventually I decided to explore a bit further. I've done quite a few courses in hypnosis. I became a hypnotherapist as a hobby last year. And when it comes to career advisory, it's just been always on my way in terms of a good, positive way. People looking for help. How do I do my CV? How can I prepare for a job interview? So it matched for me the side of wanting to always do something, add value to people, and then having the skills and expertise coming from executive search firms. Nowadays, I work with executives mostly because it's very hard for them to be able to find the hidden jobs, which is not published, jobs that are for executives they cannot find in LinkedIn or in Gov Talent or anywhere. So I'm specialized and I'm able to help them with a plan, a roadmap, how to land the next job. Everything is about mindset. It's about also keeping you cool, keeping relaxed, and how do you actually understand, mix the concepts of spirituality, of techniques, also how to be able to talk to other people, because we are all so much full of programs, which we'll be talking through all this. So it's a lot about passion at the end of the day. I think passion is the whole differential for me to be where I am now, being so passionate about helping and wanting to learn about myself.
Isabelita, I think we've lost you there. I'm not sure if everyone can hear me. Thumbs up if people can hear me okay? I think I'm paused.
I can hear. Okay.
Am I the one that's been paused? Did we lose you there or did you lose me?
I am always here, you're always there.
Oh, technology, it lets you down, doesn't it? It doesn't, I mean, this doesn't happen in real life, does it? I mean, one of the things I was going to ask you on today, like you prepare people for interviews and things, like how do you get around the kind of limitations that you have with technology and like doing it on Zoom? Because, you know, I've heard stories about people like, you know, respectively cocking up interviews because they're in like a home environment and it gets a bit stressful and the connection drops. So have you found yourself having to almost pivot how you completely help people because of this whole change or?
Well, I have actually been either lucky or I've been creating the, let's say, vibration, the energy with the people. We want so much to be on that call, on that video, that I believe that nothing would affect technology. But there were cases where my lovely cat has jumped into the laptop and then has created some little bit of changes. So I made it as a fun, and that's anyway. But yeah, no, I think it's just what it is. Everybody has to be prepared, you know, like, I mean, anything can happen any point of time, anywhere, anyway. But if I am with a client and I don't want to interrupt and we lose connection, I just give them a call. So like improvise.
I suppose in a way, I mean, would you say that people have to be probably more enthusiastic and more confident than they would be in person because of the restriction through doing it through a laptop? Or is that something you feel is made a bit easier? What do you think?
I think initially there was a lot of challenges in getting people to turn on their videos because they would be so uncomfortable by the fact there was a video recording them. But then as you start talking to them and you tell them, listen, pretend we are face to face here, you know, it would be so much better if we can see each other's body language, expression. It makes a complete communication. Hopefully that will be okay. And then eventually after a few minutes, oh, sure, I can turn it on. But it's funny because people do forget they are in the video and they tend maybe sometimes not to be properly dressed or so I always try to make sure and say, okay, just remember if it's a group video, you're going to be in the video just like if you were in public. You have to, you know, especially if it's a job interview, you need to dress up. You know, you can't be in a t-shirt. So those kind of things are very important.
No, you'll be surprised. I mean, there's a lot of people I see having these like professional Zoom calls these days, and they're just completely sat at home in their pajama attire. It's crazy, isn't it? You don't get away with it so much. I mean, maybe in the lockdown you had like a bit of slack, 2 weeks slack to sort it out, but no, not anymore. Exactly. So, I mean, you. One of the things that strikes me about you is that you've got so many different like. I don't know how to phrase it. Skill sets, I guess, would be the best word because, you know, you help people achieve the job that they want or get the project they need or help them with the communication and being confident, whether it be over Zoom or whether it be face to face. But, you know, you've got other things like with psychology, the spirituality, you've got the hypnosis. Like, so how do you, as a person who's an expert in these fields, how do you know what to apply with what person? And is it an amalgamation of all the things together, or is it very separate? Like, would you not go down one road with one person? I'd love to know.
Okay, that's an amazing question, actually. So basically for me, I'm very intuitive. So I practice meditation on a daily basis, and that opens up a lot of my intuition. So my intuition, using my intuition means I'm not processing logical thinking when I'm talking to somebody, except when we're talking about certain techniques. But to be frank with you, I would say 70% of my conversation with anyone is purely based on instinctive and my intuition immediately. And it is very important, something I found out throughout the time, it's been 5 years I've been doing that as well, that how much people actually do learn more and how much they actually get more engaged and involved if you tend not to keep using logical thinking. And the reason is we all have those programs, those softwares in our mind where we do have different perceptions of reality. So it is very important that you do not come imposing your perception of your reality when somebody else has totally different feeling about it. So when you're having a normal conversation with them, understanding where they want to get next in their career or in their lives, and you're able to understand what makes them feel possible to reach those goals, then you're able to help them tune in a little bit and to open up a little bit more how to perceive a different reality. One of the things I can give as example, not to be so vague about this, for instance, when approaching headhunters and recruiters on LinkedIn, especially for anybody looking for a job. People tend to go on the copy paste messages and they don't realize that there could be a different way to approach. So some people, for instance, approach headhunters and recruiters saying, dear madam, or dear ma'am, or dear sir, and some people would not, if you look at their profile, you can tell that would not be suitable for them. So you have to use the first name. So this kind of understanding of people and looking at what makes them probably comment or post on their LinkedIn profile will give an idea about their perception, their reality, and what would be the best way to approach these people. We all have different cultures. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different educations. And every single person in this entire world has one digital print, which is entirely different for the rest of each one of almost 8 billion people in the world. So there must be something to tell us about that, right? That nobody is the same. So it's basically dropping that preconceived idea of, how things work, and understanding, like, with your skill set or with that specific person's way of perceiving the world, how can we help them create a better life, better reality? But first of all, and definitely the most important for anyone that is facing any situation in their lives or they're pursuing anything, is definitely to keep a very calm, relaxed state of mind, which not always is easy, because of course, if they do not have a job, or they're worried about finances, or they're worried about, it's a relationship breakup. So you need to remain positive, which you have tools for that nowadays. So and the reason why I say people must first stay positive before doing anything else in their lives, before applying for jobs, it's because they create an energy around them, because everything is energy. As Einstein says, everything is energy, and that's all that is. And if you want a reality to happen, so example, somebody wants to have a new job, they must match that reality. So what is that, right? So that means you can only have something that you believe you already have in your state of mind. So if you're not happy, if somebody is sad or somebody is depressed, they keep getting a feedback loop. They keep getting more rejections, more negative, because their vibration, let's consider layers of vibration. Their vibration is in a level that's low, that they can't reach to the other layers. It's like radio station. You can't listen to jazz or bossa nova if you put in the radio station your frequency on rock or on, let's say, piano music. So if you want to listen, or if you want to have that reality, if you want to listen to the piano, if you want to listen to bossa nova, you have to tune in that frequency. You've got to press that button. So what that means for us, if I want to have a new job, or if I want to have a new career, if I want to have a new relationship, if I want to get out of suffering, what that means, that I must practice and find ways to feel that happy to that level, that the reality, the materialization of that frequency is just a consequence. Not sure if I was as clear in this aspect.
No, it makes sense. I mean, in a way, what you're trying to, without respectively changing kind of like what you do, in a way, what you're doing, you're almost giving sales advice in a way, because you're telling people how they can best sell themselves. And essentially, if we're in an interview, if we're sat across from that client that we really want that project, or if we sat from someone with that new position that we're trying to get employment, or we're trying to get that, trying to get hired by this big, client to be their new agency, we are selling ourselves more as in conjunction with obviously the service and the product. So being calm, confident, and obviously those giving out those vibrations, as you say, where you're in that frequency where you're like, I'm going to get this proposal, I'm going to get this client. If you don't have that, I completely mirror what you're saying. I think that makes complete sense. If you're not in that mindset, like, I'm going to get that job, you're never going to get it. It's very true.
To add on what you said, it's very important that when somebody goes for a job interview, they do a little bit of homework about the interviewer. So it's not only about preparing for that job description or preparing about the company website, but the most important, just like you said, you need to sell yourself for the person who is interviewing you. And that person who is interviewing you will have different ways of perceiving you. We have different ways of thinking about what you're dressing, what you look like, liking or not liking you, and you have no idea. So how do you actually anticipate a little bit what could be a pleasant, that could be a rapport, a pleasant conversation? Do a little homework on that person. So if you do have an interview to go, please, the most important is to check on the person. Go on their Facebook, go on their Instagram, go in everywhere. Create an image, an idea. Oh, that person, okay, let's say somebody, they found this interviewer that is, let's say, skydiving. So they already know there's somebody adventurous, somebody who likes to be outdoors. So you can start to create an idea of, okay, what kind of conversation you can have. And according to what those people post, right, go in their activities on their LinkedIn profile, you'll be able to know what makes them feel like engaged with a conversation or with a story. So you know how to present yourself. Because one thing is, some people say, oh, that's they're very serious or they're very to the point. And sometimes the interviewer, all they want is to have a good rapport and say, you know what, I like your style, I like your personal skills. I will train you for the job, don't worry about it. So that's where people forget. So creating this personalization, but of course, by being positive. Imagine you go to an interview, and let's say you were interviewing somebody today, and this person is looking absolutely tense or moody. It's already creates a barrier right there, right? So that's why you need to be relaxed. And it's almost impossible sometimes when somebody's too stressed or too depressed to go to an interview and to come across as if they are not. So that's why I highly recommend it. I do understand it's not an easy thing to control emotions, but there are several tricks you can do for your own mind to feel relaxed. So meditations, go in YouTube. There are millions of meditations. It can be 15-minute meditation. There are sound healing meditations that I actually bought a few the other day. I was like, wow, I felt as if I'm literally in another world from the sounds. The sounds generate frequency in your brain that stabilize your activity in the brain and makes you stop thinking. When you stop thinking is the best thing, because when you stop thinking is when you open up for the actual intuition, where you connect with the universe. Whatever powers are there in this universe, they are trying to send us message to help us, to guide us, to go forward in life. But if we're so stuck with our old ways of thinking, because we don't even know, right? 90%, I would say, of things we do, it's all automatic. So, but if we start having an awareness about results and repeated results in our lives, we're going to realize, hang on, how did I think every time about when something happened? How did I feel? How did I react? So if you can change the way you feel about something and stop thinking, hang on, I've been thinking about this my whole life, having a negative idea about something, think differently this time. Say, listen, I do understand. I always had this program in my mind that I always saw this situation or this story or this person as a very negative thing. But if I were today to rewrite my mind, how could I see that as a positive thing? There's always a positive thing. It's like the half full, half empty. Always a positive thing, even in the middle of the most chaotic situation. So if you start then having an awareness of yourself, then you're going to be able to say, okay, I can start feeling lighter about it. It's just a thought. I can remove this thought. And how do you do it? Well, there are meditations, there are therapies, but alone you can do that. Alone you can do that. There are
so what you're saying is the psychology and the spirituality and the hypnosis, all these are techniques really for someone to reset and almost rewrite how they think. Because I get it. So you're trying to, and again, this goes back to almost the selling advice. Like if you're able to be yourself more comfortably with someone, then they understand you and get a better picture of what you're like as a person. And at the end of the day, whatever we're selling, whether it's a service, a product, it's all down to real rapport and trust building. And you can't do that if you have this, I guess, this shield, this nervous shield, or whether it's an overconfident shield that you're doing. If it's not you, if it's not genuinely you, then I completely can see how that just won't work in your favor. So, so walk me through then a little bit about, let's take the hypnosis is quite interesting for me, to be honest. How does that, like, how would you apply that to someone? And how could someone do this alone, by the way, or is this something that's only needed or done with someone? How does this work?
Absolutely. Well, the very first thing I would like to say about hypnosis is happens every single day to us, right? From the moment that you are taught, when you're driving, if you have been like a driver already, let's say you're no longer starting to drive, it's already a normal thing for you, just like when you go, you brush your tooth, and then you change your clothes, just a normal thing. You're not thinking. This is hypnosis. You are hypnotized when you're driving because you are on a phone. I mean, hopefully nobody's holding a phone, but they are doing something else. They are thinking about their tasks for the day. You don't even know how you got home sometimes. Oh, did I get home? I left Abu Dhabi 1 hour and a half ago. I don't know how I got here.
Do you know what? I did that the other day. I drove all the way up from Abu Dhabi, had a little nap, and I got to down to downtown, and I woke up. It was fine.
That's exactly. And when you're watching a movie, for instance, you were so involved with that movie. This is literally a process of hypnosis. So basically, hypnosis itself is what happens to us every day. It's like when you're talking to somebody and you're so involved in that conversation, you're not thinking, you're not processing, you're just absorbing.
Yeah.
That's a process of hypnosis. So you can hypnotize yourself every day. And there are several beautiful professional programs that can be bought that they will reprogram your mind for you. So somebody can get hypnotized, but first they need to relax.
I guess it's a bit like subliminal messaging. It's a bit like subliminal messaging, isn't it, on advertising, where you crave suddenly. Like the other day, I had a real craving for chocolate, and I didn't realize, and I went back on the same road I was going, and I was just going past chocolate banners all the time along Shatesville Road, and it wasn't. I don't know whether it was linked, but it probably was. I mean, your brain picks up on things, and you obviously your body's very used to picking up on signs and signals that you miss consciously, and I guess it's very similar, isn't it? I mean, hypnosis. To be honest,
I'm so much aware of this. And I still get hypnotized on a daily basis. I can give you one simple example, if I may. It's a personal example. So I moved to a building that's a beautiful place where I live now. I'm very happy with it. From the first day when I arrived, I didn't used to eat chocolate. That's the truth. I did, except for things with chocolate, but not chocolate bar for some reason. Okay. And when I arrived in this building, I had a gift from the facilities management that came from the landlord saying, this is a chocolate for you from Switzerland with love. I was so touched by it as a welcome to being our new tenant or our new resident. I was so touched by it. I said, oh my God, that's so cute. I was not expecting that. I got addicted to the chocolate. And I was like, oh my God, I was not going to eat the chocolate if I saw in the supermarket. But when I actually got that, I associated the feeling of being valued or of being, considered special with unconscious, right? You're not thinking, oh, I'm so special. It's just automatic. I appreciated that so much that I got addicted to the chocolate. I went back to them and said, please, where can I get more of this chocolate?
Who are so, if anyone eats chocolate on watching this video and they feel immensely valued watching chocolate, let us know. I do.
Exactly.
I think it's like
always an association. It is always, everything is an association.
It is Easter, Christmas. You get like chocolate on your birthday. It is. Chocolate's a good thing, right? I mean, you never get chocolate if you're in trouble, do you?
Yeah, exactly. And thanks I have a good gym, I can work out because now after all this chocolate.
Oh dear. What you need to do is you need to like positively reward yourself with things that are beneficial, like going to the gym. Like, well done for today. So good hard work. Go to the gym and reward yourself.
Exactly. And you get more chocolate.
Yeah, you're gonna. I think you need to hypnotize me into working out a lot more and have that as my like chocolate craving substitute.
Okay, we would work on that. We work on that.
Goodness me. So guys, anyone who's just tuned in, Isabelita is an amazing consultant that helps people get new jobs, projects, clients, and just basically enabling them to be themselves and confident in front of people and on Zoom and whatever. So, and using techniques through psychology, hypnosis, and just, really tuning in and resetting and almost rewriting your brain if you could. So if you have any questions linked to this, drop them in the comments. We'll get to them when we can. I'm going to just quickly throw to a comment. We've got some, one of the Facebook people here. So what do you recommend as an everyday exercise to build positivity on a daily basis? So what would you say is a really good tip for someone that, I mean, and again, we're going to be taking a lot of your knowledge that you normally charge people for today for free. So sorry, we're really going to get our money's worth out of you today.
I'm very happy to share. I think I'm much more than a giver than a taker. So it's a pleasure for me and an honor. Okay. So basically what I would say, before I answer that question, I want to let people know that everything I know, everything I learn, it's based on my own research. I did have a course in the hypnotherapy, but everything is based on self-learning, buying courses online, and daily watching videos that will help boost my knowledge and my self-development, my spirituality. So I would refer here back to something that Abraham Hicks, whoever knows Abraham Hicks, will know that she's very known worldwide in terms of somebody who is in spirituality. She says actually that one of the first things you must do to have a positive day on a daily basis, the very first 17 seconds when you wake up, immediately bring something positive to your mind, because it's a very common thing that people, when they wake up, all of us, the first thing you think
Snooze.
about is,
Snooze.
yes.
I'm not ready. Do you know what I need? Right. This is what I can tell you my first 17 seconds straight away. Okay. I've had a really long sleep. I deserve a nap. Snooze.
Understood.
And it's not a positive one. It's like, it can't be this time already. I get really annoyed at myself. I'm like, it's not. The time's wrong. The clock's wrong. It really is.
You have to program the night before you go to bed, but I know what you mean. It is a challenge for many people. But I would say the first 17 seconds, as soon as you wake up, instead of thinking about an issue you have to solve, instead of thinking about something negative that happened yesterday or something that you worried about or negative things, immediately think about a positive word. For instance, the word peace. For the first 17 seconds, say, okay, the word peace. What does peace mean to me? What would peace be? How would I feel if I'm a very peaceful person, if I have everything I want, all my desires are now realized or come true? How would I feel? How peaceful would I feel? So basically choose a theme, a topic that if you ask yourself, how would I feel? Then immediately you're telling your brain to reproduce that feeling if you were in that situation. Because for the brain, it's literally like a robot. It doesn't understand that you're just imagining. If you imagine and if you actually live that situation, if you actually are going through that situation, it's the same for the brain. So when you start feeling the feeling of being where you want to be, then automatically, by what we call synchronicity, coincidences, inverted comma here, because it's you are attracting that reality to you. But the reason why the law of attraction in the movie The Secret, people say that doesn't work, it works a lot, because it's maybe people did not understand that. Not that you keep just saying, oh, I wish I had that. Oh, let's say, I wish I had a new job. Oh gosh, I must have a new job. Oh, I'm worried. It's not, you're not putting yourself in that frequency. You need to meditate, and meditate can be even on your own, saying, how would I feel today if I pretended to myself I got that job, or I bought that car? How would I feel if that car I want was right now in my parking? How would I feel? So you need to play the little game with your mind, telling your mind, how would that be if I was in that situation, or with that person, or in that country, or in that job? And then the mind starts saying, okay, let me tell you how you would feel. And then guess what? You start feeling like the way you would feel, which creates that energy, that frequency, that vibration.
It's almost like you're tricking your mind. It's tricking your mind, or not tricking it. It's like almost tailoring to get your body to get used to certain patterns of thinking, isn't it? It's almost like it's like just like going to the gym. It's like exercising your mind, isn't it, in a way?
It is exactly what you said. It's exercising the mind, but you must do this every day, and as more as you can do in terms of meditation, the best you'll be in the situation, or you attract the opportunities into your life. Initially, I used to be like, oh my God, then should somebody be lazy because they have to focus on feeling good first, and then after they will apply for a job, for instance. And then I had this confusion. I started practicing those things myself, and I said, wow, you may as well spend a lot of your time just focusing on staying positive, on finding positivity, on creating imagination and feeling how you would feel if you were in that situation, and then take action from the intuition. So this is what I want to actually people to understand today and to acknowledge the most for anything, for getting a job, or for getting the relationship, for getting the car, for getting the money. So first you need to work your mind out and say, how would I feel if I were there? How would that be? What would I be looking at? You got to create a little movie in your mind. From the moment you say, wow, it's so crazy, because for a moment I felt that I was in that situation, in that scenario, in that relationship. Then out of nowhere, you're going to have an intuition. That's the bridge. That's the important. The intuition will bring you the thoughts. Say, you know what, Tim? Make a phone call now. Remember this guy you met 5 years ago. Please give him. You're going to say, well, why did I remember this guy? But then it's your intuition giving you the actions, because you cleared up the mind. You know, as if you had so many layers of, let's say, negativity that blinded your receiving the information that the universe has to you. From the moment you lighten up, you go up in vibration, you're able to receive that intuition that will come through thoughts. Then take action. Then please take action. From the moment you are in a relaxed state of mind, you're feeling happy, you're able to meditate, and you get out of nowhere, do this, do that, go there, turn left, turn right, just do it and see how beautiful it is. It's the universe guiding you. And literally, I believe it. And literally, I've been doing that, and it's been magical.
Wow. I mean, you shared a tip earlier about like one of the things you can do within the first 17 seconds is you think of something positive. I'd love to get some more tips from you like this. I've just had a question pop up that says, what advice would you get, can you give for being in a positive state? So, considering that we've got so many difficulties, I know there's a lot of people watching right now, even listening to this on iTunes when it's published later, and they're going to be in everyone's going to be hurting in some way. Like, I'll be honest, like I've got my battles. I'm sure you've got your battles. And,
I do too, believe me.
You can't be positive all the time, right? And I know it's really easy just to say, go meditate, go be positive. So if you had to really be practical here and give someone some tips, like this is a really good way to get into a positive state, especially if something maybe bad has happened. What can you say for that?
Okay. So the very first thing I would say, when you had a situation, so let's get in a situation, somebody got fired and they were like, oh gosh, how can I feel positive now? They got fired, they're crying, they're worried, they're desperate. I would say, first of all, just understand for the time being and just believe in that, because it's all over. The information you can find in many places, that everything that's happening to us now, it's only a consequence of our old ways of thinking that created us to take certain actions based on fears or based on old pre-existing programs that made us choose certain paths in our lives and made us attract things that were in the same level of vibration. So now it's just a result. So do not think about reacting to what happened to you. So somebody lost their job. Do not try to change the laws of job or try to battle or try to understand. Just know, you know what? This is only a consequence of the previous me. Whatever was there, now I have the right to recreate. But first I need to be positive or to feel good. So one of the things I used to do in the beginning to practice that, because I didn't know much of the meditations, I didn't know much where to go. I used to go in the watch videos of cats. I love cats. Who knows me knows I'm a cat lover. I'm a crazy cat lady.
You cannot say to me right now that the secret to having everything you want in life is cat videos. Are you seriously telling me this?
For me, because I was passionate about cats. So it depends what you're passionate. Let's say you're passionate about soccer. You know, you go and watch soccer.
I think you're right. I think it is cat videos. I don't see how anyone can be sad about watching cat videos. I think that's...
Some people don't like it, but anyway, let's say some people like comedy. Some people like to
sure.
So go and find things either in YouTube or go and choose a movie that's gonna put you to another state of mind. Because if you keep crying over spit milk, it's not gonna help you get a clean, environment. It's not gonna help you. You need first to get out. That's the truth, guys. You need first to get out of the negativity. So whatever it takes for you to get out of the negativity in a good way, don't be irresponsible. Don't go and get drunk. This is not real getting out of negativity, Don't go and do something crazy. But I mean, for instance, for me, I promise to you, if I get stressed out, I do my meditations, but then I feel like, oh, for some reason I have a headache, I immediately go for a run. Oh my God, I run for 1 hour and I'm like, I feel like I'm not here. I don't feel all my body after this because I feel like I'm in the moon, literally. So this puts me in an elevated state of mind where it calms down any thoughts or any things that maybe didn't go so well during the day. And then guess what? I'm again putting myself in a higher vibration. Then I start feeling good. Then I start having insights. then I take action, and then results start coming again. So just remember, choose something. Go play soccer if you like playing soccer. Go and watch a movie, the type of movie that you love. If you like to play a game, if you feel intense, immediately go and play the game to take a cold shower, to say the least. But
That's
do
good
not
tip.
keep trying to battle what happened. What happens, it happens for a reason. Already happened. That's fine. There's something much better on my way. And if you feel this way, that's what you're opening the doors for.
No, that's true. I think it's amazing. I think so. So basically, just to sum up in that point, it's pretty much. I know we're saying cat videos is the fix here. I know theoretically the cat videos is just the
crazy cat
example.
ladies like me. Yes.
But it's just get yourself into something that you love and you like, and if you enjoy running, like you say, and just do that. I think that's that's an amazing thing. Like for me, like I'm a big fan of cars. So like if I guess what I can take from this is that if I'm feeling in a particularly stressed state, or I would just go chill out, watch some car videos, or just go out for a drive or whatever. Yeah. So then it just gets you in that zen,
Exactly.
We've had a few people say that they do like the cat videos. So I think you got a lot of people that understand there. And someone said, very good tip. I find myself struggling in a whirlwind of thoughts the moment I wake up. So awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad people are getting some value from this. So let's move on to another question then, shall we? So someone said, I heard you mention earlier about a parallel life and a universe. Can you please elaborate? See, I also made a note of this. So what do you mean here?
That's extremely amazing, actually, thing that I love, actually, the concept of parallel realities. So according to actually quantum physics, and also a lot of spiritual leaders, but for some people, if it's not physics, it's not real. So we can consider either source, spirituality or quantum physics. There are several parallel universe. So for instance, there is here Isabelita, and there is Tim and everybody that's there now. All of us are also living a different life in a parallel world. It could be identical to where we are right now with a slight difference, or it could be entirely different. So it is entirely crazy, but you can find several documentaries about it. You can find a movie that talks about time travel, which supposedly it's not just fiction, it's real. Okay, it's mind-blowing. But basically that there are other versions of us. So, but then how does that happen? We are still one person with several versions. So it's basically like we are one higher being, but with several, let's say, fractions of us living in different worlds. So let's say, Tim, that if you, for instance, say, you know what, I'm okay with the life I'm living right now, but I'm sure there is a parallel version of me, because everything that we imagine, this is the idea, everything that you imagine, it is real in a parallel reality. So be careful with what you imagine, because if you start tuning in, imagine how would that be? How would my parallel version be if today my parallel version, let's say, was a renowned public speaker? What would she be doing now? Then I imagine myself talking for 3,000 people, and I know she's there. So if I want to shift from this parallel reality to that reality, what must I do? So I must first tune in, imagine how would I feel, how would that be, and then more and more practice that visualization, and then insights will come and synchronicities will come. So the pure example for me, thinking about this, it's a passion for me to eventually, I want to become a public speaker, I want to write all the books. Tisha contacted me, which is your assistant, to say, Isabelita, would you like to talk for us? I said, wow, that's synchronicity. Thinking about it, and as more as you think, well, when I'm going to have my next event, it's been a while, then I get a call from Tisha, So this is synchronicity. So that's the idea of parallel reality, when we are living in several worlds, and we don't need to continue in this one. When I mean continue, guys, I don't mean doing anything crazy. I mean, only for the fact that you think about a different way that you'd like your life to be around you, you immediately, either you shift realities without realizing, just like in the Butterfly Effect movie. Did you watch the Butterfly Effect movie?
Yeah.
Okay, so, but for him, he would have to read, and then he would see himself in another life, or in another timeline, which would be the past or whatever time. But that is just a representation of us, that if we focus a lot on something, we end up in attracting it. So it can be considered as a parallel reality as well. So for instance, when you think too much about the car that you like, eventually you will attract that car. You will attract that car. But
I've
of
not
course,
attracted that car at the minute.
have you been very positive?
It's still a poster on my bedroom wall. No, I'm joking.
But here we go. The thing is, you have to believe. And I liked one thing I can share with you now. I think this is a mind-blowing concept as well that I've been learning a lot and reading a lot recently, which is you cannot desire. That's the mind-blowing. That's the paradox here. You cannot desire something too much. If you desire something too much, then you make it resistance to attract. And it looks like, hang on, everything you told me so far was about you need to imagine. Yes, you need to imagine being there. But from the moment you start desiring with anxiety, you're basically telling your mind, I desire because I don't have it. And guess what? If you don't have it, you're not in that vibration, then you're not going to get it. So you must first imagine you are there. You must feel that feeling and then relax. Let the universe bring it to you. And that's how it works. But if when the moment you see on your wall that card, say, oh my God, I desire so much, you're just telling your mind, I don't have it. You say, wow, I love my car. I love that photo that I made of my car. That's basically the idea, like I know it is mine and I have no need to have a huge desire about it. It is the paradox. I know that.
No, that is true. I mean, we had a speaker actually on, and he's a friend of mine as well. His name's Darish Sudi, and he's a big advocate for everything you're saying right now. He said he came out. I remember. I'm going to kind of reshare his story, but I mean, it's very relevant, which is why I'm bringing it up. But he said he moved here a few years ago with a few $100s in his pocket, and he previously was, very successful in the UK. He came here during the crash, and he was envisaging all the time. He was in like a major room, I think, in JBR or something. And every day he was imagining that he was, had his own place, had his own place on the Palm or something, and he had a really nice car to go to working, and he didn't, obviously at the time, but just due to the mindset and the habits that he had, and applying the things that you're talking about right now, I can actually safely say I was shooting with him. I think it was actually yesterday I was shooting with him. He's there. So yes, there's a lot of other factors. Yes, the world moves in very strange ways. Yes, you meet someone and then it goes into business, and then vice versa. But you're right, the universe does work very oddly, and it does, if you really get yourself in that mindset, it does tend to deliver. Like you said, it doesn't work all the time, but I mean, he's a huge advocate for what you're saying. So I can certainly say that you're not the only one.
That reminds me of something. Before I came to Dubai, it was a dream to come to Dubai. Before I came to Dubai, I used to work in the cruise ships. And I remember I used to talk a lot with the guests in the cruise ship, and they used to tell me, Isabelita, so once you finish the contract, or once you have done enough experience in the cruise ships, so what you're going to do next? Instead of telling them, oh, I really want to go to Dubai, I would find just easier to tell them, I'm going to Dubai. Oh, really? Yes, I'm going to Dubai. And for me, it became so natural just to say I'm going to Dubai that I said, oh my God, I feel like I believe it, because I know I want it, but it feels like I'm really going there. Things just happened. Yeah, I literally, it just really happened, So I was like, wow, out of nowhere, I got opportunity for an interview to come to Dubai. And I was telling everybody that's what I'm going to go after. And then eventually, I met some of the guests here. As we said, wow, we can't believe we spoke this before. And there you are, So it does happen. And there are several things that you can do actually to attract that desired reality. But first is believe. One thing I want everybody to know, we are much more powerful than what we can imagine. We are much more powerful. We are so accustomed to reacting to what's happening to us that we forget to create what we really want to create. So we can create instead of reacting. Do not react to what's happening out there. It's just a consequence of something you thought, you felt, you vibrated, and you attracted. From now onwards, feel differently by practicing feeling good every day, and things will start changing, because you cannot attract anything like negative if you are on a positive level. Again, it's the radio station. If you put it in rock, you're not going to listen to bossa nova or jazz. So that's the idea, that how you can actually start changing your life. And it's crazy. It does happen overnight. So
Yeah.
there's a lot
No,
we
it's
could
true.
talk about parallel reality, but I think we'd have be a long discussion. I love
Yeah, no,
that topic.
it'd be like a 2-hour chat just alone on that. We
Yeah.
just had someone say, "I've always believed I should look at my victory like it's already happened," and that really works for me. So
Exactly, and
true.
that's what it is. Yes.
Yeah, awesome. So we've got 50 more minutes, guys. Just to let you know, anyone that's just tuned in or any of the viewers, if you get your questions in now before obviously we lose Isabelita. So I'm just going to throw one more question your way regarding job searching. So I mean, you specialize in that as the natural thing you do for senior executives here in the region, but obviously people globally as well. I'd love to know what your perspective is, pretty much on how job searching has actually shifted. Especially due to the pandemic, because there's a lot of people losing jobs at the minute. There's people I know in this academy, although we are trying to make sure this community is populated with business owners, I know there are some people that are in employed positions. So what's your perspective on the opportunities that you feel people can maybe seek or go after with regards to maybe finding new employment, maybe not just employment, but maybe as a business entrepreneur finding new avenues to grow their business? So what's your take on that?
See, I'll be probably sounding a bit different than most of the people, but this is the reason why I'm here today, right? I see as a very positive opportunity. The world is changing for much better. It's just like when you clean the house. I mean, when initially you clean, you see the dirt, but guess what? Right after this, it's going to be shining and nice and smelling good, right? That's my metaphor for what's happening nowadays with the pandemic. We're going through a lot of restructure, a lot of changes, some people suffering, some losses, unfortunately, sadly.
Well, it's a reset. It's a reset phase, isn't it? I mean, Daniel Priestley from DEN, he's been on the academy a couple of times, and he talks about how this is almost like the rebirth of the Roaring '20s once again, a century later, and it's a lot of people are in this like spike where they're like react, oh my god, what's going on? Then they reset and then they reinvent. So he's a big. I mean, I'm also equally a big advocate for that. So yeah, sorry, continue. Sorry.
No worries. I have something very valuable to share with your community as well. Our community now. I'm part of your community here in this group.
You are indeed, yeah.
So first of all, guys, it is a moment for opportunity where you can easily go and apply for something totally different than what you have been doing. Because now the idea is not like nobody can say, no company can impose on you and say, what's your experience in this? There is no more normal, there's no more experience, everything is new. So it's basically a lot about soft skills. It's reinventing job descriptions. The trend now will be definitely remote work. It's beautiful because if you still, let's say, if eventually you want to move out of Dubai as an example, but you still want to be able to represent and cover Dubai market in whatever function you are, you can still relocate somewhere else because a lot of the jobs are going to be done remotely. There are companies, for instance, a company called Crossover. They've been doing this for very long. Nobody knew. Now because it's starting to, people get to know what's remote work. And that's what they do. You work, you get a fixed salary, you get also commission. So, and they will control everything from the laptop as if you are in the office. So the beautiful news here is that remote work is going to become more and more normal. So you can be from anywhere you want. You can save much more. You can have a more enjoyable atmosphere, maybe if you're working from home or from wherever you choose to work. And now for the entrepreneurs that are here, for the startups, you can still start your business smoothly and peacefully and without much expenses in the beginning while having another job. That's another thing that companies are going to start to add already and going to start to open more and more their minds. Like, okay, they don't need only to work for me. So it's going to be based on results. Everything's going to be measured on results. And then, okay, you've done your job. There's going to be activities. Everything is going to be controlled online. There's going to be systems for that. And then guess what? You want to do your passion. Like my passion is coaching. It's not my full-time job. I can do my coaching peacefully and happily without affecting my productivity, my results, and my income from another company. So basically, this is a great opportunity. Before, imagine everybody had to go to an office. Everybody had to stick to that 9 to 5 or whatever times. So this is an opportunity.
No, it is. I completely agree with you. It is an opportunity. And you know what? I feel this pandemic, if it's taught us anything, it's accelerated what was probably going to happen anyway. It's exactly, and then we've mentioned this on previous talks. I mean, not to sound insensitive to anyone that's that's been affected by it in a health way, but like from a business health point of view, like if you are affected by it in this pandemic, then it's just highlighted maybe cracks in the foundation or something that needs attention. Because if you can find a way to work and earn at home online when we've got everything around us in terms of resources, support, communities, education. I mean, literally you can pick up the phone right now and YouTube anything you want to learn and just learn it. I mean, in a way, it's kind of just accelerated all what we should be doing anyway. So I completely agree with you. I think
also,
it's good.
Let's say some people want to work or they want to get exposure to certain countries where they wouldn't be able just to move there and then start working. So now it's possible to work remotely for any other country, wherever you are, and then get the entrance to eventually just shift to that place, right? So companies are starting to accept and see the advantages. Offices are no longer required. So employees can get more pay in a way that it's a win-win also. It's going to be much more like everybody becomes more like a business partner other than an employee that has a salary, their hours finished, then they are done. No, it's going to be result-oriented. You want to work 5 hours, 8 hours, or 10 hours in the day, and then tomorrow you want to work less. Well, there's going to be a KPI, weekly tasks, weekly KPIs, and that's going to be based on results. And then you get paid accordingly, I think it's fair for business owners, for entrepreneurs, and for those who want to have 2 jobs. It is very possible. So the business owners, the startups, the people that are starting their business here, please feel free to go.
I can't take another job, to be honest. One's enough.
Some people can do that, but in a way that, of course, it's not by any means overlaps each other or does not interfere with the nature of the business. In other words, not conflicting, of course. It has to be something totally not related. Yeah. Of course.
No, of course. No, so well, Isabelita, I think it's been absolutely amazing having you on. I think as we're approaching the hour, it's going to be a great opportunity now just to maybe throw to how can people reach out to you if they want any extra advice, and how do they stay in touch with you? Because I know you're in the academy, but tell us a bit about how people can reach out and stay in touch with you.
I think I always prefer if people connect with me on LinkedIn. Because as soon as somebody sends me a request to connect, I'm always very keen to connect with most of the people, almost everyone. Unless, honestly, I see that there is something fishy in that profile or there is no photo, please have a photo when approaching. And then we can take it from that. I mean, tell me how you feel I can help you, or if there's any advice or anything that you want to clarify from today's conversation. Very happy to connect with people on LinkedIn, and then we can always take it outside from LinkedIn, of course. But at least as an issue. Connection.
Amazing.
That's a great
amazing. We'll make sure after this video, in the comments, you share your URL. It'd be great to have that. And guys, just want to announce anyone exclusive in the FTEN X Academy. We actually do have very limited spots for these, but if you can put a comment saying I'm in, Isabelita is going to kindly share with you her ebook completely free of charge. So tell us a bit about this ebook. So anyone listening, if you're interested, just put I'm in. And again, it's fine if you watch this later and you're not watching this live, guys, but tell us a bit about this ebook.
Sure. So basically I have a book that's also in the bookstores in Dubai and Lebanon called All the Secrets of Getting a New Job in Dubai. And this book, I also have the ebook version. So as I want to contribute back to the community, thank you so much for the opportunity to talk. So I'm offering exclusivity to give you, for all those who are watching this video, who wants this ebook for free, just please let us know. Maybe a team can facilitate how we're going to do that. And I can share the link with 100% voucher discount. So you need to get the 100% voucher discount.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Isabelita, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I've learned some things. I'm going to start taking what you said and put it into practice, and I'll let you know.
Fantastic.
I'll tag you in the community and let you know how I get on. But honestly, it's such amazing value, and it's been amazing hearing your story, your journey, and how you're helping those. And I wish you all the best, and we look forward to having you back soon.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a pleasure as well. Anytime, happy to come back and have another chat with you.
Take care.
Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.